there was just lie after lie after lie after lie. So we've all been in a season where we are dealing with repetitive sin, a season where we cannot get over these same cycles or hurdles, and we keep going through the same stumbling blocks. So for a while, I had been dealing with repetitive sin. And so when I went to God about this, I was deeply, deeply ashamed, number one, because I knew what I was doing was wrong. The Holy Spirit was correcting me in the moment that I was doing it, but I was not listening. I was doing what my flesh, I did what felt good to my flesh. So what I want you to understand, there is no perfect Christian. You can speak to anyone if they tell you, you shouldn't be sinning, you shouldn't be doing this. We all know these things, but there's nothing perfect about anyone on this earth. The only perfect person, the only perfect being is God, right? So when I went through this and went to God about this, what he revealed to me is that oftentimes in our sin, in our repetitive sin, there are three main things you need to consider when you're in the season of repetitive sin, or just a cycle that you cannot overcome. Number one, what you want to do is examine yourself. Now, when we examine ourselves, you want to make sure that you're being honest about the sin that you continue to commit, the sin that you keep repeating over and over and over and over. Now, you want to do what I call the 4 W's. Why, what, who, and where. What is the sin? Why are you sinning? Where is this sin happening? And who is it happening with or around? Those 4 key things are going to help you pinpoint and identify and examine what it is that's keeping you bound in this repetitive sin. Now, you want to admit and be honest about this sin, because a lot of times what we find when we are in sin is because we're still in denial ourselves. So being honest and admitting to yourself that you truly have a problem, you truly are committing the sin repetitively, is going to allow you to move to the next step, which is to recognize the pattern of your sin. Now, for me, my pattern of sin, it had to deal with my mouth. Me sinning with my mouth, let me tell you, between the ages of 17 and I want to say about 27, 26, there was just lie after lie after lie after lie that I told. And it wasn't even for a particular reason. And so when I went in with God to try to identify, why do I keep lying? Like, what is it about me or whoever I'm talking to at that time, or whatever I'm doing? Why do I keep lying? It was like I just was at that point in my life, full transparency, just a compulsive liar. I mean, it's no other way to put it. And I did it after realizing and recognizing my pattern. What I found is that what I was doing is trying to create conversation with people. I was around people who I really didn't have anything in common with. So I tried to spark a conversation. I tried to seem, like I had it all together. Like I was this interesting person, right? So I would make up these bizarre stories. And I'm like, I know these people think that, there's no way she actually did this, right? And so what I was realizing is that I was doing it, my why was because I was trying to spark a conversation. My what was, I was trying to look a certain way to people. And where it would happen, it would just be like in groups of people, like if I met new people, my where would be if I was at some type of gathering with friends or family or something like that. So after I identified these things, I took each piece of my sin, every ounce of it, I took it to God and I went to him. And I asked him to create in me a clean heart with pure thoughts. I confessed my sin of lying to him repetitively. I confessed it to him sincerely, earnestly, and I asked him to remove this filth of lying, to remove this constant lying that I was doing just to be to seem popular, to seem like I was, because that's why I was doing it overall. So I had to really be honest with myself and really dig deep into where I was, who I was talking to, why was I doing this, right? So after I identified these things with God, I made a commitment to God that I wasn't going to put myself in these situations. So what I did for a while, I stayed away from people. Whatever you have to do to get yourself on track with God, do it. It doesn't matter what people think, feel, or say. Do what you need to do for yourself to get back on track with God. So I stayed away from groups of people. I stayed away from people that I didn't have anything in common with. And I know for some people that might seem strange, but I was on the verge of, I was trying to break the cycle of the lies that I was telling people. And you know, the only way that I could do this, the only way that I knew how to do this effectively was to pull myself away, to be alone with myself so that I can identify what I was doing to be in this repetitive sin. I had to take the first step so God could carry me and bring me through the sin that I was committing repetitively. Now, the last thing I want you to keep in mind, don't be too hard on yourself, because we all sin, right? There is no perfect Christian, as I said. So I would love to know, you guys, if you are stuck in a situation right now or a season of repetitive sin, leave a comment below and let's chat about this. Let's discuss what it is that you keep going through. What cycle are you having repetitively that keeps coming up? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, you guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.